I feel like a rabbit should come out of a hat. Hoplamazian. Here we go. Brian Hop and Johnson. Here we go. Jerry Johnson coming down the hill into that first outside zone. Yes, sir. The big 97 into that first inside clip, now into the second outside zone. Yes, sir. Big angle. You can see Hop just dialing it in. Hop chasing him down the hill. Now coming into that touch and go. Yeah, look at that. The smoke is just playing a major role here in that last inside clip. So you want to hit that clip, have a good flow. Looks like they will leave the start line. So who's going to be going against Cam Sorensen? Getting his license up there, I believe it's in Utah. Colorado, I believe it was. All right, here we go. Swinging in. Here goes Brian Hop into that inside clip. Boom, right on that tick mark. Literally ticking the boxes. Now you can see that natural sweeping. Quick little correction, going to the outside zone. Now coming to the keyhole. Gets out there. Oh no, Brian Hop overcooks it. And Hop overcooks it. And it looks like All-American Johnson. And Johnson will lead. Cam Sorensen. Oh no, excuse me. Cam Sorensen will lead. I apologize. Here we go. Cam Sorensen out front. Here goes Johnson to chase. Cam, big, massive angle there. Good initiation. Goes in, again, a little bit tighter than the judges wanted. That square is there for a reason. All right, goes and flirts with the rumble strips into the horseshoe. Dips that back left in. Oh, and Johnson straightens out. Looks like he might have gotten too aggressive. Had to back off. Now Cam completing the entirety of the run back up the hill.
Yeah, might have been some contact there right before interclip too, Jared.
Yeah, that angle. Here we go. Now Jerry Johnson out front. Cam Sorensen chase position.
Got a fender hanging off of that
fender shooting off. That will not impede on Johnson in chase position. Going to those rumble strips. A lot of handbrake there by Johnson. Quick little correction from Johnson. Now coming up into outside zone 2. Johnson goes into outside zone 3. Now there's that horseshoe, a wide and safe spot. So seems like that thing just comes out of drift because it just straightens out. It might be like rubbing on something, right? Because why would and it's not snapping back.
Yeah, it might be over centering or something like that. I'm getting some mouthing from Rome.
The big old,
yeah.
You see that big filter, that NASCAR.
Have you ever seen his toe rig? That is also super
I love
American.
it, love it. Looks like Optimus Prime. Nate Chen coming down the hill. NCR, Nate Chen Racing. He was looking good. Like I said, back straight angle there. A little quick yank of that handbrake. And, oh man, big American Johnson coming out into the third outside zone. Chen is just, look at this, just ticking the boxes. See that? Just really good precision. Johnson, I see some dog in him. Literally see some dog on the roof as Nate Chen comes on by. Right? Is that a dog or a cat? Johnson out front, copping in chase position. Here goes Johnson in that first outside zone. Drops right in, no problem. Good fluidity there. Transitioning into the second outside zone. Just puts it right in there. Now that Taxi Garage FC in the chase position. And brings it on home. Taxi Garage customizers of crazy carts all across the country and the world. Kaufman will lead. Brian, let's see what you got here. Get in that FC RX-7. Sucker for a good FC. Let's see, coming into that first outside zone. Dabbles with it, comes out of it. Then Johnson, ooh, look at that. Drops into formation, comes out of it. Kaufman gets back into that second outside zone. As I said, Johnson, he would just kind of stab in and out. Now that last outside zone, bringing it across. Looked like Johnson was right there, just kind of trying to pounce, just kind of like a cat just playing with his toy there.
The speed, the bumps, the texture of the racetrack, all the stuff that I was learning about today. You learn, the same thing.
I'm going to walk you through this run. Here's Colette Davis as Colette goes in, and we got Jerry Johnson. Jerry Johnson chasing him down. Colette Davis into the second big outside zone, filling all of it. Good composure there. You can see the attitude of the car. Nice and settled. Johnson just tucking right in that pocket. Good smoke coming off the car. Past the inside clip in his last outside zone. Outside zone 3. Johnson on the attack. Colette Davis puts the car in the right place. That was probably the cleanest run we've seen so far with the right amount of aggression. Car placement
and when he'd say something, I was like, but that's backwards.
Yeah,
but that's how it has to be.
You're losing grip. All right, it looks like a cone was hit, but that's no big deal because I believe that was a chase car. So here goes Johnson out front. front of the 97 into that second outside zone. Colette Davis needs to play catch up here. Gets finally into that second outside zone, that big almost 180-degree turn. Now past that inside clip, Johnson passed it, Colette as well. Now that last outside zone, very precarious, diving in, but then has to just good composure there. So now we have a verdict, 1,000 horsepower on average of these vehicles. Now keep in mind, this is spec. Here we go, Johnson for Studstad. We driving Nissan and Toyotas or ripping Harleys down the road? The 97 ripping with the big box.
Hello.
Oh boy, Studstad. DJ makes the record skip. Slams into Johnson. And it didn't look like Johnson impeded on the line. Looked like Studstad maybe just got a little too aggressive.
Big time. Yeah, that's we're running back. There's just too much aggression.
Not slapping the base, but slapping the Z. To the final, Studstad, Johnson. Studstad out front. Pulls out a little bit there. Studstad rips it into that first outside zone, hits it and quits it. And Johnson, Studstad very shallow in that second outside zone. You got to think Johnson did not complete it because Studstad, again, at my first glance, it looked like Studstad. Oh boy, Johnson shuts it down. He straightens out.
Should have taken that, that free 10. I don't know.
Let's see if he could poke his way into the finals like that air cleaner out the hood. At 97 to 86, a lot of numbers going down, but he wants to be #1 here today. Again, bragging rights and points richer. Johnson, Studstad, he's in tucked in, doesn't mimic the angle there, does have good proximity. Now in and past that inside clip, that last outside zone, flirting with the dirt. But Studstad, like I said, he's nosing in, but isn't mimicking that angle. You just need to knock it back just a touch. Right? I feel like you see that more because you're just like anxious. You're got a lot of, you're ready to go. Here we go, Studstad out front. Initiates across the nose of Johnson. A good tempered approach by Studstad. Johnson reels him back in. He lets him transition in front of him. Now that last, the second outside zone. That's just such a massive zone. And now past the inside clip, bringing it on home is Studstad. Ooh, Studstad comes at an angle a little bit, but Johnson still applying the pressure. That was
Johnson.
That was good composure.
I felt like
refined, concentrated 4 rounds for a championship. Ooh, big initiate. Wow, Johnson going for it. Brother, you can't win in seeding, but he is going like this is the finals of tomorrow. So maybe save a little in the tank, but Johnson throws it down for his town. Well done. The Cat Daddy right now puts it into that last outside zone, unharnessed right now. That was sick. It was top-hitting, and Johnson got on the side of him.
No, well, yeah.
Yes. Johnson's actual first lead run was very cool, very dynamic, really awesome.
Hello.
And Hop, looks like he responds with a great line there. Hop puts it right in that second outside zone on rails. Johnson tucks in. Goes past that inside clip, both of them unscathed. Now coming out last outside zone. Hop gets in the dirt and Flirt throws up the brown roost in that last outside zone.
There we go, victory. Or I mean, not a victory, but
is that victory?
Celebration.
Wow. Little premature celebration there for Johnson. Yesterday, he was up in the booth, and Joey was in the box talking about drifting while Jerry is running. Only carbureted vehicle out there, NASCAR motor, cab over tow truck. And then afterwards, when the storm was hitting, we had a bunch of drivers, James, Lee, Federico. Jerry was down there. He's like, bro, ledge, like bowed down to Joey. I was like, yo. He was announcing while you're running. He's like, no way. I was like, yeah. He's like, dude. I mean, Jerry was cloud 9 yesterday. Like to have this car, I mean, he gets out of the car. I don't think that car has a motor, it just runs on Jerry. Like I said, here we go. Taking a look as Johnson out front. You cannot mistake that big air cleaner from any other car. Brings it into, look at Boss, he tucks into that smoke, no problem. Not phased at all. Both these guys in that second outside zone. Again, mimicking that angle, and you can see Boss still has some power on deck, so you can see him diving in, trying to even get more proximity and bring it across the finish line. That was fun. I want to see that overhead shot there, but they got through it really quick. Hopefully everyone's coming out. Come on and join us. Round 4 of the Pro Championship, but right now, PROSPEC. Here comes Boss. Let's see if he initiates like a boss. Yes, he does. Yeet Fleet Nissan Z comes in, Johnson tucks in, has to back off actually. You saw him try to get close, has to back some off a little bit there. The Yeet Fleet Flamingo comes now out of the outside zone too. Dude, dial. Look at that line that Boss had. Johnson tucks in once again. Wow, I'm loving this battle. I think this is just so much fun. I think both. And Jerry Johnson. Again, yeah. And coming into that first outside zone, here goes Alex Jaeger. Johnson tries to get next to the Z, and look at that, he tucks in. Almost got some contact. There might even exchange a little bit of paint, a little bit of vinyl. Coming out of that second outside zone on that inside clip. You know, the brake lights being wildly more apparent in that last outside zone. You can see the Excel lights on the windshield here standing out quite a bit more now that the sun has set.
You don't do any changes. It allows you to drive harder. Go in there with more commitment, more angle, and dig out.
Chocolate light back.
Yeah.
All right, Johnson initiates into that outside zone. That's what you're talking about, that big dynamic entry initiation. Second outside zone, and Johnson sets it in that second, puts it in. Jaeger just on the outside of that second outside zone, approaching that last outside. Johnson puts it in.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what he needed to do. Very fluid. He ran his own line. Jaeger in that chase position. Come on down. Who's going to the finals? Chen or Johnson? Chen out front. Nope, no cone hit. We got a clean start. Little tap in the brakes there by Chen. Initiates in his first outside zone. Uses all the course. Johnson drops into formation. Gets buried in smoke, but he digs his way out of it in the second outside zone. Chen just on the edge of the track. Johnson really confident in that chase position. Transitions a little bashing, thrashing, and smashing. Wow. In that last outside zone. Some firing of the exhaust.
Just rinse and repeat, as you like to say.
Rookie year, Johnson. Can he get on the box? If he wins, he's guaranteed that. Johnson, big initiation from Johnson to that first outside zone. Little bit of a hesitation there going to the second outside zone. I want to see that shoot here. I want to get that overhead view of Johnson in the lead. Good angle from him, maxing out the angle into that inside clip and that last outside zone. Here goes Johnson, Chen in tow. Like I said, just very straightforward.
Yes.
No tomfoolery, nothing crazy. You know, you saw the Excel. You know, the momentum.
We're really twisting the screws on the judges and saying minimize the one more times. You know, not any sport. You're like, run again. You know, like, great run to snowboarding, run again. All right, here we go. All right, we got two fun drivers here. Brian Hollywood Hop out back and Jerry Johnson out front. The Cat Daddy here coming to outside zone 2, coming to outside zone 3. Jerry Johnson. This Johnson is on fire. Now coming out of 3, Brian Hop. Hollywood comes in a outside zone 4. He shallows up. Jerry Johnson fills all outside zone 3. Definitely want to get these like just a little panicked, like flow like water, man. Listen to Bruce Lee, you know, just start getting that flow, man. And watch this. I think he's going to put down a great lead run. When it comes to chase, maybe just has those hiccups. And look at Brian Hop gets involved in the dirt. That might be a small deduction there, but you saw how aggressive he was because he's confident out front. He's got the clean air. Look at the angle. Johnson trying to apply the pressure, and it's a battle is truly won in that chase position. To go back, and I think both of them got a little bit of a second chance here to chase position. So here we go. Brian Hop chasing down Mr. Johnson. Oh, tip to tail. He is aggressive out of the gate. I don't know if that's going to pay off for him as Brian Hop jumps in. Johnson with that fiery nose. But Hop, speaking of nose, he needs to get that proximity. You can see him jump in and then has to jump back. Now in this last outside zone, Jerry brings it on in, and that was well done by him. So again, Jerry Johnson, all these guys, a lot of them running those big, huge air cleaners here. Brian Hop leading it out. And again, Jerry Johnson running the old school motor, kind of got an old school livery. And Jerry Johnson slow to kind of get to pace there. Brian Hop into that second outside zone. Jerry Johnson, the whiskers sticking out. See if he can feel his way into the outside zone 3. Johnson comes a bit short. Good angle there. Now in that last outside zone 4, Hop does get into the dirt. That was past the finish line. A controlled slide past the finish line, but he does get involved in the dirt. Like I said, that yellow line outside zone 4, that is the finish line. Drift through there, shut her down. And here we go, out of the gate, Jerry Johnson leading and lands chasing him down. Now transitioning into that second outside zone, Johnson, the 97, lands at Zek's Corvette. Good proximity from Lance Johnson, given an opportunity, like you said, that platform, that canvas, in order to have a good chase run. Oh, and Lance, just as I say that, comes up short on the last outside zone 4. Maximum out there on the start line, and here comes Lance through that start chicane. See how he answers. Straight line approach, boom, right into that first outside zone. Jerry Johnson, the flame nose. Now transitioning, look at that, well done by Johnson in the chase. He has to back off a little bit. It looks like might have been some contact, got a nose job there. And now through that third outside zone, transitioning to the last outside zone. Bang, he backs in that Corvette. No doubt that he dropped into that last outside zone, not leaving anything, and then jumping back in. So here's the second portion of this battle. Jerry Johnson, Lewis Lance, now into that first outside zone. And Jerry comes on into that second outside zone. Man, that looked like Lance really jumped in there. Now to this third outside zone. And
wow.
Outside, I mean, Johnson is way out there, way ahead. Lance loses it in that last outside zone. Wanted to change out that side and wanted to make sure that alignment was all good. And Lance now out front and Johnson in the chase position. So here it is, the one more time battle. Lance in that first outside zone. Johnson diving on the inside now, coming in that second outside zone. Lance puts the car in the right place. That allows Johnson to be aggressive. Comes a little unwound there, but Lance looking comfortable up front now, as opposed to the chase position. Got a little loose, and now coming across the finish line.
Okay, I like what Jerry did with Lance, and Lance did a great job of, you know, painted a nice picture for. He's going to make some omelets.
Yeah, that's right. Shake and bake. Here we go. Jerry Johnson out front. Cody Buchanan in the chase position. Boom, look at that. Cody Buchanan tries to anticipate that. Drops into formation. The 97, Jerry Johnson transitions in. Buchanan let it hang out. And that was a good, again, he really adapted to where Jerry was and brings it all the way out to that wall. Transition to this last outside zone. There goes Johnson. Good angle from him.
Wow.
Maxes it out. How he held on to that is beyond me. You know, they say when you yeah, I won't get into it. So Jerry Johnson,
good night.
Definitely held on to that. His fingernails, he was clawing. You know, again, clean air, but he's got the yellow nose diving in and in his rear view mirror. Ooh, across the nose. Speaking of the nose, Jerry Johnson, he is just not backing down. Jerry looks like he's riding shotgun with Buchanan now coming to the second outside zone. He needs to keep it smooth. He said he got a little too much energy, but is that smooth? Is that smooth enough? Buchanan brings it on in. Oh, buddy. Smooth jazz. Cody Buchanan and Jerry Johnson getting a little more mosh pit than he is yacht rock right now.
We know.
Thanks, bud. Thanks, Jerry.
When you see the Monopoly man.
Yeah, dude, I don't think that car has any fuel in it. It just plugs in. It might be JJ. It's JJ power. Jerry Johnson. The 97 ripping on in. NASCAR power Toyota GT86. This dude's on fire. The Enfuego nose job here. Jerry Johnson comes on into that outside zone 3. Little hesitation on that transition. Now that last outside zone, boom, right there. Got that cage kit. Shout out to Rob.
So maybe getting used to this car. It's his debut this year, so, but he could also surprise us. So here we go.
Okay, Bystrack goes into that first outside zone. Jerry drops into formation into this outside zone 3. There goes Bystrack. And this is what I was talking about. So here's Bystrack. It comes at him a little bit. Jerry's still applying the pressure, transitioning. Jerry tries to time it. Good proximity. Oh, Bystrack.
Keep it together.
You know, by comparison, like I said, Bystrack coming into this round as far as, you know, the ProSpec championship. But here we go. Jerry out front and Adam Knapik. Aggressive initiation by Jerry. Knapik overshoots that inside clip now into outside zone 3. Here comes Knapik surging in attack, just overcooks it, has to back off. Johnson, great placement of the vehicle into outside zone 4. He floats it out there, then stands back on the throttle. Wow. Knapik will lead. Jerry Johnson chasing him down. So Knapik really needs to put down a solid, good, clean run. Already flirts with that rumble strip. Jerry Johnson tucks into the smoke. And look at that. Goes into that third outside zone. Knapik goes in. Oh, he is out there in the dirt. He does reel it back in. Look at Jerry's composure. The way he was, I mean, he had spidey senses there.
Talking about whiskers.
The way, yeah, he was hanging it out there, and like moves on. He will jump up to tie
Brutsky and Chen.
Right.
But still, Chen would better him if it ended there. Here we go, Cody Buchanan, SRD, Nissan Z. And keep in mind, Jerry Johnson, he's got a lot of momentum, he's got a lot of family in his corner. Oh! And Johnson goes left. Uh-oh. Johnson gets in the dirt, he's pointed in the right direction. What happened there? And Buchanan
just
major
Friday stroll.
Major advantage, a massive momentum shift. Gotta love Jerry Johnson, but Cody Buchanan, he's fighting for him.
Jerry Johnson in front, Buchanan giving chase.
All right, here we go, back to this battle, Jerry Johnson and Cody Buchanan. Here comes Johnson into this, and here we go, Johnson transitions in, and Buchanan serves an attack. Johnson, he wavers once again. And Johnson out of outside zone 3. And Buchanan, with Johnson making that major mistake and also not the cleanest up front.